Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and just one more sleep until the Xbox Game Showcase. Just wanted to round up a bunch of the leaks and rumors that have been happening in these last couple of days surrounding the showcase, and overall, if all of these hit, it's going to be a pretty good one, I feel. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, you're into what's going on with Xbox, whatever happens during the showcase, we'll be covering it. Consider subscribing. Let's start with what Aaron Greenberg, who's the VP of Marketing at Xbox, said, which is, looking forward to the show, just don't overhype it too much. We sort of burned the house down last year. So Xbox is tempering expectations. Meanwhile, people like Satya Nadella and Phil Spencer seem to be teasing that there's big things there. So a little bit of mixed signals there, but I'll just give you the news and you let me know if you think this is hype or not, because a lot of this stuff here speaks to me, but if showcases have taught me anything, we all have very different tastes. So let's start off with Persona 4 Remake. Pretty much a locked-in announcement at this point. We know the project's real because many voice actors and actresses from the original Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden have been confirming they're not part of the project, whether it be Amanda Wynn Lee, who says here, since I've had several people ask me, no, I was not asked to voice Yukiko in the Persona 4 Remake, or Yuri Lowenthal, Aaron Fitzgerald, everyone's confirming they're not in Persona 4. And anyone who's been paying attention and watching how Persona 3 Reload went probably isn't surprised by this news, even if it's still a little disappointing. At the same time, I'm going to keep an open mind to this new voice cast because I do get the idea of hey, it's been since 2008 that these characters were voiced by these adults who have only gotten older, and these characters are supposed to be teenagers. I say that with no disrespect, but I get the idea. Still, we know Persona 4 Remake is real, not just because the actors and actresses are talking about it, but also MP First had the scoop. They say Persona 4 Remake to be announced at the Xbox Game Showcase. A source familiar with the situation has confirmed to MP First today that Persona 4 Remake will be revealed at the Xbox Game Showcase on June 8th. It is planned for release on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, though we failed to get confirmation if there is a Switch 2 version releasing simultaneously. And the other thing not mentioned here, which was consistent with pretty much every Persona release on the platform, whether it be 3, 4, 5 Royal when it came over, or of course, even Persona 3 Reload, 5 Tactica is Game Pass. I wonder if Xbox is going to get this one on Game Pass. I feel like since Persona 4 Golden sold crazy well on Steam, I don't think there will be a Game Pass bag for this one. However, Windows Central Gaming then followed up this report saying, we can further corroborate the report that, according to our own sources, the game will be announced during the showcase. Man, this is one of my favorite games of all time. The fact that it's getting a remake is very unsurprising. There's this video that we did on the channel a while ago analyzing the future of Persona and Atlas, and that thing's been a Bible. We have been accurate about everything except Persona 5 Arena. But in there, we tracked originally years ago, 2020, that Persona 3 and 4 would no doubt be remade before you got Persona 6. Given the new bells and whistles that Persona 3 got that made it much more tolerable, I'm really excited about what can happen with Persona 4. I say that because Persona 4 has a really good core. It's one of my favorite games ever, so I'm a little biased, but it had what I would say less problems than 3. 3, for a lot of fans, demanded a complete top-to-bottom remake. Tartarus was kind of repetitive, and there's only so much you can do to vary that up, whereas Persona 4 had much shorter and enjoyable and mechanically deeper dungeons, even if they weren't as crazy as something like Persona 5. They were also more thematic, so they looked different compared to Tartarus, which look the same a lot of the time. I think Atlas did a really great job with 3 Reload, though, making Tartarus interesting. And since I think the lift for Persona 4 to be, quote, better is a lot easier, I think this is going to be a slam dunk. So they just need to get the style going for Persona 4, but no doubt I will be there day one for this. And this is one of my most anticipated announcements because, again, it is a game that has done so much for me as a human being. If you've not played Persona 4, keep your eye out for this one. It is a special game, and we'll no doubt have a retrospective out on Retro Rebound talking about this one. Next up, one of the most requested games to get an official update is Knight Silksong. And let's start off with the official capacity first. As we tracked with many games we've covered on the channel, SteamDB is very reliable because we basically get to see updates on the back end. Now, things have been dormant for Knight Silksong for the last number of months. Understandably so, because we're talking about a game we don't know what happened. Was it in development hell? Did it get rebooted? We don't know. But we got that very brief snippet during the Switch 2 Direct. But otherwise, Knight Silksong is now getting multiple frequent updates on SteamDB just ahead of the Xbox Game Showcase, where it was first announced all those years ago, being day one for Game Pass. We're seeing achievements being added. We're seeing trailers being updated. So many updates coming to this thing just a few days before the Xbox Game Showcase. It's gotten to the point where people do think this is going to be shadow dropped. It started off with Xstasis, who is an Xbox insider, who has a pretty decent track record, who said that Hollow Knight would be at the Xbox Game Showcase. Since then, he doubled down over on Twitter saying, "Tomorrow will clear up any doubts about Silksong. My information I have to say has not changed in all this time, so we will see." Now, the question, given how long it's been, is will Silksong shadow drop? I just feel like this year has filled up so quickly, especially after all these showcases. There was already a ton of games, but I mean, like, have you looked at September? It's crazy. So I don't know if Silksong needs a lot of marketing. It feels like everyone's on the edge of their seats. Like, this is kind of that Elden Ring joke kind of game where you're just like, where is it? Where is it? Every time, to the point where at Summer Games Fest yesterday, there was jokes about Silksong and any updates for it, which is low-key marketing unto itself for Team Cherry. But no doubt, it seems like we're due for an update. Xbox, much like Atlas, makes a lot of sense. Why is that? Because, again, when you look at Atlas, they've had a lot of stuff on Xbox's stage before. When it comes to Hollow Knight Silksong, we saw it on Xbox's stage first, so it makes sense to come back around to this one and re-reveal it there and give it at least a release date. I know Silksong fans have been through a lot, so I don't want to give you too much hope. I know how it is. I don't want to give you too much hope, but it looks like when you're seeing those back-end updates as someone who's covered a lot of games, getting those Steam updates, and especially when they're adding achievements, they could be gearing up for a launch. And if it's a launch as soon as tomorrow, that is going to be crazy, and for a lot of people, just make the show. Shadow drops to me are equally exciting and terrifying. I look at Lies of P Overture yesterday, and I'm like, dude, to be honest with you all, I made a table in Google Sheets with games I'm currently playing, games I want to play next, games I want to play in 2025, backlog priorities. Like, I felt so overwhelmed after that showcase and just the amount of things I want to play and I'm currently playing, and I'm trying to balance. I'm like, I need to make a sheet and just help me sort my brain out. So more shadow drops would not make my life easier. Who's got the time for all this? So just give us a release date, but I know many of you Silksong fans out there will drop everything to play this game. I have to admit, I never played the original Hollow Knight. So with all of that, I do want to know what's so special about Silksong. You let me know down below. Next up, though, sticking with Xstasis, he says that Forza Horizon 6 won't be at the Xbox Game Showcase. Playground Games is mainly focused on Fable, and Horizon 6 is in very early development. I believe the first part. I don't believe the second part. Early development, that makes zero sense to me, because number one, it's going to be a separate team working on it. Number two, Forza Horizon 5, I mean, hello? Have we seen the numbers and the money this game has made? It's one of the best-selling games on PlayStation. It's one of the best-selling games on Xbox. It's one of the most played games on Xbox. Arguably, Xbox's most successful game this generation. You don't think they're, like, going crazy to make Forza Horizon 6 at the same time as Fable, especially when those teams are different? Like, you know, I'm sure the car team, we'll call it, the racing team, will assist with Fable, but you think that they're, like, dropping Forza Horizon so that they can just focus on Fable? Like, hey, to be transparent, Fable is more important to me. But I think Horizon 6, if you're a business, they're like, we need to keep that on some sort of schedule. That's not to say I think that Forza Horizon 6 will be at the show this year, but early development, that's strong terminology to me. Fable not being there would not surprise me at all. But Forza Horizon 6 also not being there would be, I think, interesting, because Forza fans are used to very quick development cycles, and this would be the longest that the Horizon franchise has undergone since its inception if it goes into next year for an announcement. One of the expected games at the Xbox Game Showcase is Gears of War E-Day, and I really don't blame Xbox for this one, because the trailer they showed gave me the vibe of like, we'll see you in a few years. But then rumors started to pick up that this game is so ahead of schedule compared to where people thought it was at that it could come out this year. So that accelerated people's expectations that Gears of War E-Day could be at this year's Xbox Showcase, mine included. However, Jez Corden has said, I'm not expecting E-Day, but who knows? So that's not to say it's ironclad, but I do lean into Jez's expectations more than most out there because he's incredibly well-informed on the Xbox side of things. This would be, I would say, mildly disappointing because I really don't, again, blame Xbox for my expectations being where they are. I blame insiders. I blame insiders for talking and creating the expectation that, like, oh, it could come out in 2025. So If it's not there, will it suck for me? Yeah, like I want to see what's going on with Gears. I want to see E-Day gameplay. But if it's not, I'm not going to lose my head completely because, again, I blame the insiders who created the expectation, not Xbox. Next up here is one that has been in the rumor mill for a while. I think this announcement's lost a lot of its sizzle for Xbox fans because of the whole multi-plat push, and there was a time where it felt like Xbox had to be competitive in getting these games on the platform because like they were trying to go toe-to-toe with PlayStation. Now that they've gone multi-platform, it's like these can arrive when they want to. And so let's talk about Final Fantasy on Xbox. Here's what Nate the Hate had to say about Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Remake, because at first on Reddit Games and Leaks and Rumors, they were saying he reconfirmed it. But as you'll hear in this clip, sounds more like speculation to me.
My expectations for Square Enix going into the Xbox show are they will announce Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and that it will come out later this year alongside the Switch 2 edition, and that they will announce Final Fantasy 16, but that Final Fantasy 16 will release that day.
Oh, a nice little shadow drop. All right.
It will be a shadow drop. It's not going to be on Game Pass. It's just going to be a shadow drop. This is a prediction that they will be at this showcase. They are coming to Xbox. It's just a question of when does Square Enix and Microsoft want to announce them, and do it now. Stop the wait.
I've played both these games. I think they're both great. And if you haven't played them before, please check them out. Especially 7 Remake is like one of the most special games, I feel. And Rebirth's an incredible follow-up to it. What I'm really hoping for from Square Enix, and it's like every showcase, like what's a guy got to do to get some Final Fantasy 9 Remake around here? The Celebration website is up. They're selling merch galore for Final Fantasy 9. Like, I just want some food, dude. Feed me. Like, I want my favorite Final Fantasy remade. We know it's on the NVIDIA document. We've gotten everything from the Ivalice Chronicles to 7 Remake to 16. Like, where is the 9 Remake, dude? You're killing me. But nonetheless, I think this will be exciting for the Xbox diehard base, like the Xbox only base. And so for that, I hope it's there, but this seems to be one that you could strongly expect. And to wrap things up, let's talk about Matty's bold prediction in his predictions video. And that was Elder Scrolls 6. Here's what Jez Corden had to say about Elder Scrolls 6 at the Xbox showcase.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 was kind of pie in the sky kind of thing, but you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah. So
the reason I wanted to predict that is because I've started hearing rumors about the game, which suggests to me that more people at Microsoft are privy to it. You know, which suggested to me that maybe there's a trailer going around internally, but at the same time, that was still a bit pie in the sky. It's not exactly unheard of for Microsoft to demonstrate its games internally but not show them to the public. There's plenty of those I know about.
This could be anything, really. It could be, as they talked about on Xbox 2, as simple as, maybe they're just showing around Microsoft and they float these internal trailers constantly, kind of milestone updates, that sort of thing. Or could it be that Matty ends up being right and this is at the Xbox Game Showcase to like close things out? Who knows? The fact that the name's being floated around at this time is really interesting because my brain immediately goes to why else would a trailer for a game that's at least a year or two out be floating around now, right? Like around this showcase season. Like why would they float it around right now unless they were preparing to show something? And I guess the key to all of this is that it doesn't seem like the ace up the sleeve has leaked over from Xbox yet. So whatever the show closer is doesn't seem immediately apparent. It seems like we're going to get updates from other Xbox first-party games. For example, State of Decay seems like a lock. They're already teasing like cryptic photos and whatnot. So I feel like, as I said in my predictions video, that game's due for an update. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was there. I feel like Clockwork Revolution's a guarantee to be there, but those don't scream show closer to me. Again, you have to close the show with something special. Could it be the handheld? Sure. But Elder Scrolls 6, pretty strong show closing candidate, I feel. And if a trailer's floating around now around June for a game that doesn't seem to be close, I guess it could be a milestone update, but seems like really weird timing to me. We'll see. No doubt y'all rub it in if I'm wrong, but if I'm right, I'm giving it right back to you. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of all these leaks and rumors down below. Other than that, I will catch you in the next video. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.